In today's video we are gonna be welding. And yes, I have never welded before, not for real. And to those who know how it works, this is probably gonna be cringe. So here's the game plan. We've got this raspberry plant that produces delicious fruit but has the structural integrity of a wet noodle. It just keeps growing straight up until it realizes gravity is a thing and then flops over like it's had one too many drinks at the bar. Naturally, I've decided to come to the rescue with some good old-fashioned welding. The idea? I'm going to weld 4 metal pieces to the fence and wire them together, giving this plant the kind of support that even its therapist would be proud of. The plan is to weld these onto this, but as you can see, there is a little problem. This is too long. Now, how to solve this problem? I just have to make a cut. But with what? That is the question. I will try to use this Dremel for it, and I'll just have to change the head. Maybe it's gonna work. The Dremel is a fantastic multi-purpose tool, precise, versatile, and ready for anything. But, like with all tools, its magic really depends on who's wielding it. In the hands of a pro, it's a masterpiece maker. In my hands, well, let's just say it's more of an adventure in creative improvisation. Now kids, if any of you are watching, it is always important to stay safe, okay? So I am gonna use these glasses for my eyes and these gloves for my hands. Neither of these are meant for the following purpose, but it's better than nothing. I will now have to draw a line around here so I know how to cut it. But, another but, I feel like there are a lot of buts in this video. Not real buts, you know, the other buts. Okay. Mission successful, I'd say. So I dove headfirst into the full cut, which turned out to be quite a scrodaffle, like trying to find the perfect angle to park in a tight spot with a line of cars honking behind you. Well, it's really somehow difficult to cut it from this position. I have no idea how to hold this to have a better angle at cutting this. Because this machine, I don't think it is meant for this. But, another but. Well, maybe if there were real buts in this video, it would certainly attract more attention. But the quality of the video would be less. So, yeah, you're welcome for not adding more buts, real buts. Just word buts. I have already come this far. It's quite a lot. But hey, at this point, quitting would be like leaving a half-eaten donut on the table. Just unacceptable. So I soldiered on, inching forward, or should I say millimeter by millimeter, like a stubborn snail with a mission. Oh my god, this is really taking a long time. But I've come this far. So yeah. And if I bend it a little. Ah, it works. Oh no, it's not good. I bended the whole metal. Oh fuck. I mean, beep. At least with it bent, I finally had a better cutting angle. Maybe this would actually help me finish step 1 before I lost my sanity entirely. But for some reason my brain decided that bending it back to straight was a brilliant idea. It's now very thin, and maybe if I bend it now, yes, it bends pretty easily. Up, and I did it. I cut it in 2, and it was almost easy. Well, not really. Now that we've come this far, it's time to get into welding. I've got this helmet, and there is this actual equipment which contains a lot of incense sticks I don't know why. Maybe welding doesn't smell that good and you need to lit this so it smells better afterwards. And yeah, it looks different than I expected. Well, I don't exactly know how to, you know, I imagined it'd be like something of a pistol thing where you like bzz, bzz. But this is yes, an inverter made in Italy. Got here a lot of numbers and you can play around there, and you can obviously turn it on and off. Cool. After further study, I think that this tool get inserted over here, but the thing is, both of these look exactly the same, which makes it very easy to put it in the wrong hole. But I do not think that it doesn't matter where you put it, because here we have a plus and here we have a minus. After a little research, I found out that this is called an electrode holder, and I'm gonna insert it into the plus and the clamp into the minus. Now, if I understood everything correctly, then this is not an incense stick but an electrode, and since it is an electrode, it has to go together with this electrode holder, and then the clamp goes onto the metal you want to weld. This is a test run just to see if it works, and I'm most curious, honestly. Maybe I am stupid, but it's not working. Ah yes, I am indeed stupid. I need to connect it to the power. Okay. Haha, very funny. Second try. Now, following problem. I want to weld this on the fence, as I told you before, but the clamp has to be attached to the metal I'm welding, so it has to be attached to this. Now, how do I hold this right here until I weld it? I've come up with a solution which might not be the best, but I'll try to glue it to the other metal. Now, if you haven't cringed hard yet, brace yourself. This is your moment. I rarely read instruction manuals because I prefer to figure things out on my own, which, as you can guess, is usually both stupid and dangerous. Let's start with the zinc-coated metals. Both of my pieces are zinc-coated, which is great for rust prevention, but not so great for welding. The zinc interferes with the weld, so it needs to be ground off first. Plus, inhaling zinc fumes is a fast track to metal fume fever. Definitely not the kind of fever you want. Next, welding two metals that have been glued together is generally not recommended for a list of reasons as long as my leg. First, the surfaces need to be squeaky clean for a strong bond and to avoid an inconsistent weld. And second, many glues release toxic fumes when heated. But here's where my genius kicks in. I figured two toxic fumes would cancel each other out, like in math, where two negatives make a positive. So, if you're cringing, don't! Because this is big brain time. Or, you know, dangerously misguided logic time. But let's go with big brain. How beautiful. Maybe I don't even have to weld it. Well, I'm just gonna wait until the glue dries off. Until then. Look at this. Such a beautiful fruit. Well, it's a berry. By the way, the helmet is quite impressive. If you look through it, you only see green. This green filter, and yeah, there's a little machine here. So it's not only a plastic, and if something happens, like something I don't know, abrupt, the whole you saw it. The whole screen turns black, and you don't see anything anymore except for a little dot where you are welding. It's quite cool. I have moved the whole apparatus into the bushes because the clamp is not long enough. The cable from the clamp, this one. And now it's the moment of truth to see if the glue has dried enough. Okay. Now if I connect the clamp, I sure do hope that it's not gonna just fall off. Oh, I did it. And it holds. It holds. Oh, nice. Holy crap. And so the welding began. And let me tell you, welding is a bit terrifying. Think about it. The welder is basically a supercharged microwave for metal. It channels electricity to create enough heat to turn solid metal into a molten puddle. And if something has the power to melt metal, you bet I'm going to treat it with the kind of respect you'd give a sleeping dragon. Well, apparently I didn't do a thing. This is how the metal looks right now. And no, it is not welded to the fence at all. Okay, we're here for the second try. I glued it back. This time it should hold maybe a little bit better. And I got myself an upgrade. Now, I hope this will keep the flying bits from my skin, and I also do hope this is not gonna flare up and turn me into a flaming man. Well, let's see. Another fun, and by fun I mean terrifying thing to experiment with while welding is the amperage. Get it wrong and you've got yourself a real party. I also turned the power a little bit lower, but it's too low apparently. Let's turn it up. If the amperage is too low, the welding stick decides to bond with the metal like it's making a new best friend, and suddenly everything starts to fume like a sci-fi lab experiment gone wrong. Okay. Was too sticky. Goddamn. Another lesson, don't try to put the clamp back on when it's still on. This is how it looks right now. Oh my god, it's I'm laughing, but it's so sad. I don't know if I can take that off. Perfect. Since that's taken care of, let's move on. I was really starting to feel the weld, like I was connecting with the metal on a deeper level, like we were in sync, metal to man, forging a bond that would last forever. And no, our relationship status, it's complicated. Yeah, so I did absolutely nothing productive. Once again it fell off, and the plant caught it, luckily. And yes, I am very shit at welding. So on the upper part of this metal you can see my second or third try, and to my disappointment it doesn't even come close into the direction of welding together with the metal beneath it. So I'm gonna start searching for another solution, cause yeah, I don't feel like this is working. So I called up Serene, the guy who lent me the welding machine, and asked him to show me how it's really done. Turns out my first mistake was right under my nose. or more accurately under my reel. The partially coiled wires create more resistance, meaning less power actually reaches your welding machine. Basically, I was trying to run a marathon with my shoelaces tied together. Another thing Sorin did was connect the clamp to the bolt of the fence. Simple, right? And yeah, it makes sense. It's metal and metal conducts electricity. But then, just when I thought I couldn't feel any more like a welding disaster, Sorin casually holds the piece he's welding with his hand. Meanwhile, I'm over here gluing, taping and generally flailing around like I'm trying to assemble IKEA furniture without the manual. Turns out all my gluing and ducking was about as useful as a chocolate teapot. And just like that, he succeeded. What in my hands looked utterly impossible, like trying to solve a Rubik's Cube blindfolded, was a piece of cake for him.
Like these parts have to be, and then I have to spray it with something so it doesn't age quickly.
I then proceeded to grind the weld into a better shape, but I'll be honest, I wasn't exactly eager to go overboard, so I took it easy, figuring it was better to leave well enough alone than to have to sheepishly call him back to fix my improvements.
It's not really looking better, but it's as far as I'm willing to go at the moment. Maybe I'll come back to this and fix it later.
Nah, don't think so. If you weld metal to metal on a fence, and this metal is zinc covered, and the metal on the fence as well, it loses its covering, therefore making it very susceptible to rust, which is not a good thing. So he came up with a way better and way easier plan. Instead of welding into the metal and destroying as well as these and the fence, I'm just gonna use screws and screw them through these holes into the wood. In a way, I wanted to protect the wood, but it just seems stupid right now. I just feel stupid right now. Well, you learn a lot. So the new plan seems pretty straightforward. I'm just gonna put this here, and then I'm gonna take the screws and screw them right in. So much about shoo! I don't have a shoo, so I have to screw them in the good old way, manually.
This is way easier than welding. And there we have it, a beautiful, elegant 3-screw system. It should be tight.
Really what I'm trying to do is to screw them straight in. So not diagonally, not in any other form or shape, just straight.
The second one is looking really clean. Just look at the way the screws are screwed in. Amazing.
After all 4 pieces were connected to the fence, somehow or other it was time to tackle the wire. Now, in my head this part was supposed to be a breeze, but in reality the wire had other plans. Don't get me wrong, it's not rocket science, but this wire had a personality, a rebellious one at that. It twisted and turned like it was auditioning for Cirque du Soleil, completely ignoring my attempts to straightening it out. I found myself standing there trying to tame this metal serpent and eventually wondering if I should just call it a day and focus on the truly important questions in life. Like, what's for lunch?
It was my first try, and my second one looks a little bit better. Yeah, the first one is pretty pathetic, so I'm not gonna change it though, because I think it's gonna hold. This one looks cleaner, but I don't know if it's as strong as this one, honestly. I don't know. This one just looks better, at least a little.
You can laugh all you want, but I will tell you this. Did you know that wombat poop is cube-shaped? Yeah, that's right, cube-shaped. Scientists are still scratching their heads over it. Wait, what was he talking about?
And on the other side we've got that one. the first try on this side, and this was actually, I'm most proud of this one here, because with this one I managed to draw a little bit more tension on the wire, which I think is good. It definitely looks a little bit better. Well, yeah, never mind. Well, in the end I remade this one because it was just too bad. Now it looks a little bit better. The first row is done, and I'm starting with the second one now, and I'm feeling a little bit more confident.
Feeling confident and actually knowing what you're doing are two completely separate things and should never ever be confused. Trust me, I'm living proof. But despite my questionable expertise, things actually started looking better.
This one is actually pretty straight and looks kind of dope. I'm really starting to feel a little bit better about this, but I just noticed a different problem. It's bending and not in the right way. Oof, I must have pulled too strong on this one, or both. And it's the same over here, but these two look pristine. Amazing.
And there we have it, finished. Okay, sure, it looks a little encouraged right now because the Himbeerpflanze decided to grow like it's auditioning for modern art. But hey, give it some time. Maybe by next year the plants will come to their senses and finally appreciate my genius engineering. And who knows, if the universe is feeling generous, maybe that poor grape plant will miraculously survive this drought and decide to join the party, climbing the support system like it's trying to escape the bad decisions I've made in this garden. Who knows? Time will tell. And now, get ready for me to send you a message with way too much hand wiggling, because apparently that's just how I communicate now. Until then, thank you for watching. I hope you learned something. I definitely did. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and I don't know, turn in next time if you feel like it. If not, it's okay.